Good afternoon, baseball fans, and welcome to this edition of NCAA Mideast Regional Baseball here on ACTV. Robbie Alexander taking you through all the action with my colleague, color commentator, and twin brother Cody Alexander. And up right now, we have the 6th seed Ithaca College Bombers taking on the 3-seeded LaRoche College Redhawks here at Nicolay Field in Adrian, Michigan. Had a couple of great games so far. Shenandoah taking the win against Marietta earlier this morning, and a game that finished about half an hour ago. Worcester took it from Wabash by a score of 4-2, so we'll see who can come out on top in this contest. And Cody, what have you seen so far today?
Just great pitching by both teams in the last game, both teams in the first game as well. As you could tell by the scores that Robbie gave, a lot of gutsy performances. Hitting hasn't quite been there. They've been able to get men on base, but haven't been able to get that big hit to bust things open. So we'll see if either LaRoche or Ithaca can drive in a few more runs than we've seen so far today.
And on the mound for the Redhawks, it's Trey Thomas. So he finishes his warm-up throws right here. Game number 3 of the day and of the tournament. Cody, what do you have on Trey Thomas?
Well, he's made 11 appearances on the year so far, and in 10 starts, he has an 8-1 record, 54 2/3 innings of work, 37 runs surrendered. Only 23 of those, however, have been earned. He has struck out 63 batters, walked 30, and owns a 1.48 ERA.
He's rocking the stirrup socks out there, hoping to rock the win. The catcher Roebuck throws down to second base, which means it is time to start game number 3 of the Mideast Regional Tournament. And stepping up to the plate is the left fielder Dominic Baresta, set to lead things off for the Ithaca Bombers. Home plate umpire Tony Turk signals that we are ready to begin. First pitch from Trey Thomas. Just outside. 1 ball and no strikes.
Baresta hitting .301 on the year so far with a .421 on base percentage. He's driven in 27 runs and has scored 43 himself.
He's up in the count 2-0 right now against Trey Thomas. The pitch. Outside, 3 balls and no strikes. That one finds the strike zone. 3 balls and 1 strike now. And Dominic Baresta. Ithaca College, the Empire 8 champions. That's how they got their bid into this regional. The 3-1 just below the knees, and Baresta is aboard with the leadoff walk. Well, lining up defensively for the Redhawks. Roebuck thrown down the signs behind home plate. Melendez over at first base. Qualirio at second. Trickett at third. Hoffman at short. And in the outfield, left to right, it is Spina, Urban, and Novak. Jake Generali up to bat right now, and a fastball high above the letters. 1 ball and no strike, and Trey Thomas early having trouble finding the strike zone.
Yeah, it's 5 out of 6 so far that have been outside of the zone.
And he finds it right there with a heater. It's 1-1.
Generali batting .320 on the year coming into today, has driven in 25 runs and scored 24.
Pickoff throw to first, but Baresta back in time. Beautiful evening here at Nicolay Field. 81 degrees and sunny. Soft breeze blowing from right to left field. That one again above the letters. 2 balls and 1 strike on Generali.
Some of these pitches not missing by much. That one just a tick too high. So it's not as if he's missing badly, Robbie. It's just he's not getting it in the zone where the home plate umpire wants it.
And these Ithaca Bombers not chasing anything. A great eye at the plate to start. 3-1 now on Jake Generali. LaRoche looking for a double play right here. On the very least, a strike from Trey Thomas. 3-1 pitch. There's a pop-up on the infield middle. And the shortstop, Hoffman, will call it. Settle it in his glove for out number 1. So up now is the 3-hitter Webb Little, the second baseman. Swinging a hot stick for the Bombers. Definitely one of their better batters. Thomas taking his time out on the mound. First pitch. Fastball high again, 1-0. All 3 batters so far have got into a 1-0 count.
Well, Webb batting .356 on the year, which is tops for Ithaca. Has driven in 27 runs and scored 44. Also has 8 doubles, 2 triples, and 5 home runs.
Thomas finds the strike zone right there with the 4-seamer, 1-1.
We'll have a second team selection for the All-Empire 8 team.
Another fastball high. 2 balls and 1 strike. Well, the heat is definitely there for Thomas. And if he can find the strike zone this afternoon, he might prove to be tough. The 2-1 pitch. Fouled off towards 223. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes now. Lurking on deck for the Bombers, it's the first baseman, Andrew Bailey. Two-two pitch. Big cut there. Thomas will send him down on strikes for out number 2.
Another firm fastball. That time he finally hits the bottom of the zone. It looks like if he can continue to do that today, Ithaca may have a tall task on their hands.
Now bring up the first baseman, Andrew Bailey. He'll take a strike on the inner half of the plate, 0-1.
Bailey hitting .303 on the year, is tied for the team lead in RBI with 36.
Another fastball up and in, 1 ball and 1 strike. Beresta, moderate lead over at first base. The 1-1 pitch took a little off, but it hangs high. 2 balls and 1 strike. The 2-1 from Trey Thomas. That one fouled straight back into the netting. I didn't get a flinch. Did anybody over here flinch? No flinches over here. And we got a good job from SID director Patrick Stewart. And as we go through the tournament, the flinch game will be referred to often. We actually have a running tally of who has the most flinches. Resta off for second base, but Bailey fouls that one off. Count 2-2.
Like they had the hit and run there. Beresta, about 4 steps into his jump, looked back at the plate.
Offering to Bailey. Gets him with off speed, strikes out the last two batters he faced. And we'll head to the bottom of the first inning, scoreless here in game number 3. We'll be right back with more NCAA regional action here on ACTV. Bottom of the first inning here in game number 3 between Ithaca College and LaRoche College. Still scoreless. And on the mound for the Bombers, it's Jake Binder.
Binder has 13 starts this year, a 6-2 record. He has struck out 51 batters, 27 walks issued, and 78 2/3 innings pitched. He also owns a 3.20 ERA.
Puts a curveball in there, hit into the left center gap by Jonathan Spina. And a nice diving attempt by Carey, but it's going to fall and roll away from him. And Spina aboard with the leadoff double here in the bottom of the first.
It looked like Carey made the catch, but on the roll, it pops out, just couldn't secure it. But like you said, Robbie, an excellent effort by the Ithaca Bomber, just comes up short.
So that'll bring up the designated hitter, Joe Professori. Early RBI opportunity. The first pitch from Binder. Fastball at the knees for strike 1.
Professori with a 377, 469, 549 slash line coming into today. Has driven in 39 runs and scored 41 himself. If you think that's impressive, Robbie, he has also reached base in every single game this season so far.
See, that's the thing that stood out to me when you were reading off his stats earlier today. Is impressive to reach base in every single game as he hits a hard ground ball to the second baseman, Webb Little. He'll throw on to first for the first out, but Spina will move up to third base. Potential first run of the ball game, 90 feet away.
That's exactly what you want to do as a two-hitter. With a runner on second, no outs, put the ball in play on the right side of the field. Let that runner on second scoot on into third. And now LaRoche has a runner 90 feet away from scoring the first run of the ball game.
And second baseman Gino Qualiero takes a strike, 0-1. Binder throwing strikes early, but they just happen to be finding the bats of the Bombers, the Red Hawks. Qualiero checks his swing there, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Spina, Professori, and Qualiero, all first team, all MACC selections. Qualiero, a 364, 455, 417 slash line. Has also scored 34 runs and has 18 steals.
2-1 the count. Pitch from Jake Binder. That one fouled back, out of play. 2 balls in, 2 strikes. The 2-2. Breaking ball misses outside, and the count runs full. 3-2 now on Qualiero. The payoff pitch. Hits a ground ball to the left side. Lynch gets a glove on it but can't pick it. As Spina comes in to score, and the Red Hawks take an early 1-0 lead.
And that has been a point of difficulty for Ithaca so far this year. 86 errors committed. That'll be their 87th. So not the defense that Coach Valicente wants to see early in this game.
Run probably would have scored either way, but instead of having 2 outs with nobody on, there's now only 1 out and a man standing on first base. First pitch fastball, a strike to the catcher Shane Roebuck. Binder checks his man over at first base. Pickoff move. Qualiero safe. Lining up defensively for the Bombers. Wallner throwing down the signs behind the dish. Bailey at first base. Webb Little at second. Generali at third. Lynch at short. And in the outfield, left to right, it's Baresta, Carey, and Webb's twin brother, Sam, rounding out the defensive alignment. The 0-1 pitch. Fastball high and inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Off for second base, but it's going to run in and hit Roebuck. Runners on first and second now with still only 1 out. Bombers finding themselves in early trouble. Up now for LaRoche, it's the shortstop Austin Hoffman. Binder looking to work out of this early jam. The first pitch. Another strike in there, 0-1. Binder throwing a lot of first pitch strikes, but it's what happens after that that's giving them a run for their money. The 0-1. Another strike. Hoffman quickly in the hole now, 0-2. Qualiero on second base, Roebuck on first. Hoffman calls time at home plate. They were telling Binder to step off, and said it became a game of cat and mouse between him and Hoffman. There's a fly ball into center field. Carey running in. And he will make the catch. A little bit of a collision with Baresto out there, but the runners will hold. And now 2 down on the Red Hawks.
Hoffman just out in front of that one, flicks it in the air. And both Carey and Baresta running in at the same time. Luckily, Baresta kind of peeled off at the last second, avoiding any serious injury.
So that will bring up the right fielder, Jay Novak, looking for a 2-out RBI right here. He'll take a first pitch fastball low and outside for ball 1. Bombers looking to leave the inning relatively unscathed. He'll bluff to second base. Qualiero safe. Definitely getting in the mind of Binder. He's been dancing around out there at second. As we've seen early, definitely has the speed to swipe third if he wants. Another bluff over to second base.
Little close at the bag in his second base position, but not close enough to keep Qualiero that close to the bag.
That one misses low. 2 balls and no strikes now on Novak.
Novak, the AMCC co-newcomer of the year, and also made the third team All-MACC. Leads the team with 41 RBI.
That one manages to hit the outside black. 2 balls and 1 strike now. Pitch to Novak. Bender, and off the glove of the third baseman, Generali. Everybody's going to be safe, and the Redhawks now have the bases loaded with 2 outs.
It's the second error of the inning for Ithaca. A ground ball right at the third baseman, Generali. Kind of dropped to a knee. Looked like it might have had some funny spin on it, but regardless, unable to come up with the ball. A play that he definitely should have made on that.
So that will bring up the first baseman, Jonathan Melendez. First pitch from Binder, fastball again. First pitch strike to the Redhawks. Qualiero at third base, Roebuck at second base. Novak now stands on first. Pitch from Binder. Big cut there. Just Melendez looking for the fences, but instead he finds strike 2.
Besides that leadoff double by Spina, really not a lot of hard contact off of Binder by the LaRoche hitters. A couple miscues in the outfield and a hit by pitch, but really he's been doing a great job on the mound.
The 0-2, and he caught him window shopping. Strike 3. And LaRoche will have to leave the bases loaded, but not before scoring the first run of the ball game. We'll head to the top of the second, 1-0 Redhawks. Keep it tuned right here to NCAA tournament action here on ACTV. Top of the second inning, LaRoche with an early 1-0 lead over the Ithaca Bombers. And stepping in now is the right fielder, Sam Little. Takes that first pitch and puts it right past the diving Melendez into right field for a leadoff single. First hit of the day for the Bombers. That will bring up the designated hitter, Adam Gallagher. I think that was the first pitch strike we saw from Thomas.
And Little just serves it right into right field.
Well, much like his twin brother Webb, one of the better hitters on the ball club.
I think he's actually second to his brother in batting average, hitting .342.
2 for the price of 1. Coach Valicente got lucky there. I think I can make that joke. We're twins. We've heard it before. Always good to see twins on a ball club.
We've heard it so many times.
It's just ingrained into our brains now. 0-2 is the count on Adam Gallagher. The offering. Soft tapper back to the mound. Thomas will throw to first for 1. Relay. Got him. 1-6-3 double play, and they're now 2 down.
Off the bat, I wasn't sure if it was hit hard enough for them to get to. But both Thomas and Hoffman made the perfect throws. And much like Ithaca has 2 players for the price of 1, LaRoche just got 2 outs for the price of 1.
Well, like we've been talking about, Nicolay Field, an all-turf field, and when that ball hits it, it takes off and it has a habit of bouncing as well. So although it didn't look hard off the bat when it hit that turf, it might have had a little extra giddy up.
A little candy hop there for Thomas as well.
So 2 outs, and it's the center fielder, Matt Carey, looking to start a little rally here. Will pull his hands in and hit a high fly ball towards foul territory. It'll end up in the LaRoche bullpen. 1 ball and 1 strike now.
Carey .263 batting average on the season. Driven in 14 runs, scored 25 himself. So has 6 doubles and 2 home runs.
He hits a hard chopper over to shortstop. Hoffman ranges to his right and will throw on to first for out number 3. So Bombers get a man on, but a double play and a ground ball later, and we head to the bottom of the 2nd inning. 1-0 Redhawks lead. We'll be right back with more Mideast Regional Baseball on ACTV. Eight, 9-1 due up for LaRoche here in the bottom of the 2nd inning. 1-0 is the score. That's the center fielder Dylan Urban up to bat. First pitch curveball misses low for ball 1. Well, Binder found himself in some trouble the last inning, but able to work out of it with only 1 run scoring. Loaded the bases with 2 outs, but a strikeout looking ended that threat.
A really nice pitch on the outer part of the plate.
Here's the 1-1 pitch to Urban. A ground ball over to the shortstop, Lynch. And the first baseman, Bailey, can't handle the throw, in and out of the glove. And another error for the Bombers, make it 3 in the game so far, and the leadoff man is aboard.
It was a low throw by Lynch, but definitely a ball that should have been caught. So another tough break for Ithaca.
So that'll bring up the third baseman, Elmo Trickett. Pickoff move over to first base. First pitch, right at the knees, inner half of the plate for strike one.
Trickett hitting .330 on the year. He's driven in 13 runs and scored 22.
Off for second base, the throw from Wallner. And Urban is in there with a stolen base.
That gives him 30 on the season. He's only been caught 3 times in a terrific jump. Good throw by the catcher, Wallner, but Urban just too much speed.
To say not much of a chance. There's a high chopper on the left side of the infield. Generali handcuffed on it, will knock it down. It's going to be a tough play regardless. Runners on the corners now with no outs. I think they'll give that one an infield single.
And Binder visibly frustrated out there on the mound. I think he's just upset that he's making these good pitches. LaRoche is getting a piece of them, a few miscues in the field behind him. So we'll see what Utica wants to do here, draw the infield in and cut the run off at the plate, or give up the second run of the ball game in exchange for 2 outs.
That play was ruled an error on the third baseman, so mark it 4 so far for the Bombers. We head back to the top of the LaRoche lineup. It's Jonathan Spina, who doubled and scored a run his first time up.
Trickett 9 steals on the year down there as well.
There's a chopper up the middle, steps on second for one, relay. Double play for out number 2, but Urban will score, so the score is now 2-0 Redhawks. But a nice 4-3 double play. Base is empty now, and it's the number 2 hitter, designated hitter Joe Professori. Grounded out to second base his first time up. He hits a hard foul towards the Redhawks dugout. Looks like everybody's going to be okay down there, though. Another foul ball, this one off the end of the bat. Professori quickly in a hole now, 0-2. A pitch from Binder. This one fouled straight back into the padding on the backstop. Still 0-2. Bender hangs inside, almost hits Professori, but instead it will be ball 1. One-two pitch. Taps that one back to the mound. Binder will take it. A nice throw on to first will end the inning, but LaRoche tacks on another to make it 2-0. We'll head to the top of the third here in game number 3 and see how the Bombers respond. Don't touch that clicker. So we'll be right back with more NCAA regional baseball here on ACTV. Top of inning number 3 here at Nicolay Field. 2-0 Red Hawks lead. That's the shortstop Jack Lynch stepping in to lead things off. First pitch from Thomas, high for ball 1. Bombers went 1, 2, 3 in the last inning. Thomas has only faced 1 above the bare minimum. Another fastball outside. 2 balls and no strikes. Thomas taking his time out on the mound. The pitch. That one flicked into left field, but it's going to find its way foul. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Lynch hitting .290 on the year so far, has driven in 19 runs, has scored 18 himself.
The 2-1. Pounds the mitt right at the knees. 2 balls and 2 strikes. There's a ground ball to the left side. Hoffman in the hole, long throw, and nice play to get him for out number 1.
Well, off the bat, that looked like it was going to be a hit, a fastball up and away. Lynch got on top and tries to sneak it through that hole, but Hoffman with the nice backhand and the strong throw across the diamond.
Now finishing off the Bombers lineup, it's the catcher Andrew Wallner. A first pitch fastball inside, 1-0.
Gotta love that sound.
He's definitely pounding the mitt. I think he's the hardest throwing pitcher we've seen today.
A lot of late movement, cut kind of into the right-handed hitters.
That one cuts in, almost hits him. It's 2 balls and no strikes. Now his pitching style reminds me of the Adrian College pitcher Jason Schrader, who we often reflect and call him effectively wild. And that is, they throw a lot of balls mixed in with a lot of strikes. Not quite sure if you're going to get hit by the pitch, but they make it work. And they set the lineups down in quick order.
Yeah, 3-0 here on Wallner. But he's faced almost the minimum, like you said, Robbie, through these first 2 1/3 innings.
Is that walk issued to Wallner? Only the second base runner allowed, third base runner. Double play by Gallagher ended that threat, but definitely taking these batters to the fullest of the counts. Back to the top of the Bombers lineup, it's the left fielder Dominic Baresta. Walked his first time up. First pitch from Thomas, another fastball high, 1-0. Another thing about being effectively wild, you'll have about 3 or 4 batters in a row where you just pound the zone with strikes, and then you'll just lose it for about 3 or 4 battles. The 1-0. Inside, 2 balls, no strikes.
Well, coming into today, he had 30 walks on the year, so shouldn't come as much of a surprise that he is all around the plate, but the main thing is that he gets out. And so far, there's a 0 on the board for Ithaca, so he's doing his job.
Another fastball, another ball. It's 3-0 now on Dominic Baresta. That one finds the bottom of the zone. 3 balls and 1 strike. Really working that left side of the rubber. Only about half a foot on it. 3-1 pitch. In the turf, 2 straight walks issued by Thomas. The Bombers now have something brewing. Runners on first and second with only 1 out. That'll bring up the third baseman, Jake Generali. Popped out to shortstop his first time up. Both teams with only 1 hit so far. 4 errors for Ithaca, none for LaRoche. The first pitch fastball finds the inner black. It's 0-1. Looking for a double play ball right here. The 0-1. And that's going to run in and hit him right on that left bicep. And the Bombers now have the bases loaded with only 1 out. Head coach Chase Rowe going to have a quick conversation with Thomas. I think all 3 games we've seen an early pitching mound visit. I think it's all been in the 3rd inning. But just for the sake of it, what's the conversation going on out there? What do you think they're talking about?
I mean, Thomas might have some first game jitters, especially in a game like this. You want to get off to a hot start. You don't want to get sent to the loser's bracket. And they have 1 out right now, so really just a pitch down and away. If he can get the hitter Wade Little to roll over on it, he'll get 2 quick outs, and that'll be the end of the inning.
Force at any base. It's the second baseman, Webb Little, up to bat. Struck out his first time up. I'm sure Trey Thomas would love to do that again. He's facing the heart of the order now, so a difficult task is made just that much more hard.
Something along those lines.
ACTV student run, if you can't tell, but we try our best as that one's sent into left center field. Urban and Spina giving chase. Spina will settle it in his glove, but that's going to score a run for the Bombers. As Andrew Wallner comes in to score, and they cut the lead in half, now 2-1.
Nice piece of hitting there by Little. Another fastball on the outer part of the plate. He lets it get deep and drives it deep enough into left field to score the run.
Still men on first and second. I'll bring up the first baseman, Andrew Bailey, who also struck out his first time up. First pitch from Thomas. Takes a little off right there and finds the zone, 0-1. Fastball this time, runs in, 1 ball and 1 strike. Thomas doing a great job controlling the tempo of this game. One pitch to Bailey. Sends a high pop-up, shallow right field. Right fielder Novak will call everybody off and make the catch for out number 3, but the Bombers able to cut the lead in half. Roll ahead to the bottom of inning number 3, 2-1 game. We'll be right back with more NCAA baseball here on ACTV. Jake Binder gets back to work here in the bottom of inning number 3, trying to keep that 1-run deficit intact. He has to face the heart of the Red Hawks order, starting with the second baseman, Gino Qualiero, who reached aboard an error his first time up. 1-0 pitch. Shows bunt, pulls back, and it's ball 2. The 2-0 finds the bottom right corner of the strike zone. 2 balls and 1 strike. Binder working in opposition of Thomas. He's doing a very quick pace here. There's a foul ball off the bat of Qualiero, evens things up at 2. Raleigh playing on the infield grass. The 2-2. Another foul ball off towards 223, and the count stays the same. The 2-2. A big swing and miss there. He went fishing, but no bass in the pond, and there's 1 out. So they'll bring up the catcher, Shane Roebuck. Hit by a pitch his first time up. First pitch from Jake Binder. Can't hold his swing up there, and it's 0-1.
Well, LaRoche clinched an automatic tournament berth by capturing their 5th straight Allegheny Mountain Collegiate Conference tournament title and 6th in the past 7 years. They defeated Pittsburgh Greensburg in the title game by a score of 7-3.
Definitely playing formidable baseball the entire season long, but it seems like, especially as of late, they've really heated up.
Well, they are currently ranked 14th in the D3Baseball.com rankings. They come in with a 34-8-1 record, including a 16-2 conference record. They also bring a 5-game winning streak into today.
That one fouled back towards the back 40 practice fields. It's 3 balls and 2 strikes. Well, all of the regionals are extremely tough, but it seems like especially the Mideast region is full of tough teams. 8 of them in this one, and several of them are ranked. As a foul ball off the catch of Wallner. Seems to be okay, but we'll give him a second. Cody, you were a catcher, and it's never fun to take hits like that.
No, especially ones near the top of the mask. Those seems to be the ones that jar a catcher the most, but looks like he's okay. He's going to get back down in his squat.
3-2 count on Roebuck, 1 out. Offering from Binder. He held his swing. He did, says the first place umpire, Wade Mail. And it is ball 4. So Roebuck lost track of the count. He thought it was only ball 3, and he wanted to get his hacks in. So man aboard now. That'll bring up the shortstop, Austin Hoffman, who flew out to center field his first time up. First pitch fouled into the netting, 0-1. Took a little off of that pitch. Falls outside the zone, though, and it's 1-1. Pitch from Binder. Hangs high. 2 balls, 1 strike. Another foul ball off towards the LaRoche bullpen, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. The 2-2. Another foul ball on the left side. Count stays the same. Two from Binder. Hard ground ball right into the glove of Bailey. Throw on to second for 1. Relay. Safe at first base. Bombers get the lead runner for out number 2, but Hoffman will now take the place of Roebuck at first. So with 2 outs, that will bring up the right fielder, Jay Novak. Reached on an error by the third baseman, Generali, his first time up. First pitch, strike on the outer half of the plate. Another strike, same location. Novak quickly in a hole now, 0-2. There's a line drive into left field. That's going to be a base hit. Hoffman will hold that second, and there are now men on first and second with 2 outs.
Not quite where Binder wanted that pitch, an 0-2 breaker that hung right in the middle of the plate. Probably wanted to get that one down a little more, maybe in the turf.
Ends up as the second hit of the day for the Redhawks. And it will bring up the first baseman, Jonathan Melendez. Struck out looking his first time up. That one's in the turf all the way to the backstop. Hoffman and Novak will both move up. 2 men in scoring position now.
That one spiked right in front of the left-handed batter's box. And nothing Wallner could do to block that one. Skips right over his shoulder.
The 1-0. That one right back up the middle, a base hit, almost hit Novak. 1 run's gonna score. Novak chugging home. Is a 2-out, 2 RBI single for Jonathan Melendez, 4-1 Redhawks.
It's 2 straight hard hit balls. First one pulled to the left side, that one right back up the box. Novak does a great job of getting out of the way of that one. And LaRoche puts up another 2 spot here.
Coach Valicente out to have a word with Jake Binder. And again, 3rd inning mound visit.
Must be the theme of today.
What do you think? Same thing that was said to Thomas?
Most likely. Binder, again, not doing a bad job at all. A couple pitches hung there. Maybe not the best pitch to Hoffman with 2 strikes. Or excuse me, Novak. But still doing a nice job of locating most of his pitches. And with 2 outs here, he can minimize the damage, keep it with a 3-run deficit.
Well, a force at first and second. The batter's box now is a center fielder, Dylan Urban. He sends that one into center field. Carey a few steps to his left, and he'll make the catch for out number 3, but not before LaRoche scores 2 more runs on the RBI single by Jonathan Melendez, and we'll head to the top of inning number 4, 4-1 Redhawks. And we'll be back with more NCAA tournament baseball here on ACTV. Small crowd out on the center field hill here at Nicolay Field. It looks like they have found themselves a prime piece of real estate.
Hope they brought their suntan lotion. Don't want to get too burnt out there.
That's a beautiful spring night here in Adrian, Michigan. 4-1 LaRoche lead in the top of inning number 4. And a first pitch into center field off the bat of Sam Little. Leadoff single for the Bombers. Second hit of the day now for Ithaca, and that will bring up the designated hitter, Adam Gallagher, who grounded into a double play his first time up. 2 hits so far for the Bombers, both by Sam Little. First pitch from Trey Thomas. Strike in there at the knees, 0-1. It's a generous secondary lead right there. 0-1 pitch. Takes a little off, tries to throw a curveball, but it will stay above the logo. It's 1 ball and 1 strike.
Little 5 for 8 in stolen base attempts so far this year.
This curveball finds the zone, 1-2.
As a team, the Bombers have 55 swipes this year. But if you think that's impressive, LaRoche, 121 stolen bases as a team.
Big cut there. Gallagher down on strikes for out number 1. Can you read that number back to me?
The LaRoche?
Yes.
Well, now it's actually 122 stolen bases on the year.
And how many games?
Well, this is their 44th.
Is that even possible? Are you sure you're reading that right?
I am reading that number right. I've been caught only 24 times.
Well, where Worcester has the power, LaRoche apparently has the speed. Well, now we're going to have to start counting how many stolen bases they have this tournament.
Well, Urban, who we saw swipe one earlier, leads the conference. He has 30 now. The leadoff hitter, Spina, for LaRoche, has 23. And there are 2 other players who have double-digit steals on the year for LaRoche.
0-2 on the batter, Matt Carey. The pitch from Thomas rings him up at the knees as he's caught window shopping. There are now 2 down in the top of the 4th. Second strikeout in a row for Thomas. 4th of the ball game. So that'll bring up the shortstop, Jack Lynch. Grounded out to shortstop his first time up. From one shortstop to another. First pitch from Thomas. Fastball in the zone for strike 1.
Hard wind blowing in from right field.
It's been changing directions a couple times this afternoon. Like we said, we'll have to see how it affects the play. Hasn't done too much with fly balls, but a sudden gust could throw the outfielders off.
We haven't really seen too many fly balls hit out to right field yet. A few line drives, a couple hard grounders, but nothing too high in the air that way. There's a pop up to second. But most of these fly balls and line drives are going to left field and center field.
Well, with the lefty Jack Lynch in the box, we'll see if he can change that tune. 1-2 pitch from Thomas. Chopper over to second base. And Calerio deep in the hole, but he'll make the throw for out number 3. So the Bombers get a man on board, but they can't drive him in, and we'll head to the bottom of inning number 4. Still a 4-1 Red Hawks lead. And we'll see if they can keep tacking on to that. We'll be right back with more NCAA Mideast Regional Baseball here on ACTV. (9-1-2) due up for the Redhawks here in the bottom of the 4th inning. 4-1 LaRoche lead. Jake Binder continuing to battle things out for the Bombers. First pitch strike to the third baseman, Elmo Trickett, who reached on an error his first time up. Another one, inner half of the plate. Trickett quickly in a hole now, 0-2. Foul that one back into the parking lot. Count stays the same, 0-2. No shattered glass on that one. That's always a good sign. Game number 1, a stadium light shattered on a foul ball, so we'll see if that affects the lighting in tonight's game. Ground ball in the hole. Lynch, long throw. Bailey able to handle the pick, but Trickett beats it out. Infield single to lead things off.
A tough play to make. Long throw in the hole for Lynch. Trickett enough speed to beat it out.
Back to the top of the Redhawks lineup, it's Jonathan Spina. And he hits that one into the left field gap. Carey running it down, and he'll make the catch in the gap. As Trickett will have to retreat back to first base. 1 out now. Carey putting some work out there in center field. Has ran a couple long ones down so far.
There's been a couple off the bat where I thought it was going to get down. That one as well, a long fly ball into the left center gap, but he put that one away almost easily.
Not only that, but Baresta, all of those balls has been right there to back him up. So the Bombers outfield looking alive out there. Up now for LaRoche is the designated hitter, Joe Professori. 2 groundouts so far, 1 to second base and 1 to the pitcher, Binder. Off for second base, that one's hit into left field. Baresta coming in, it's gonna fall in front of him. And it's a single for Joe Professori. Runners on first and second with 1 out.
That is now 44 straight games where Professori has reached base safely. For those of you at home that have done the math, yes, that is every single game this year for LaRoche.
Now, is that a hitting streak or is that just a reaching base safely streak? I mean, it's impressive either way.
That is a reaching base safely streak.
And that one into the glove of Lynch. Nowhere that Trickett could go as he was off on the pitch. And a lucky 6-4 double play for the Bombers, and we'll head to the top of the 5th. Still a 4-1 score. And don't you swipe away from this Bulldog channel, because we'll be right back. More NCAA baseball on ACTV. Andrew Wallner stepping in to lead things off. Top of the 5th inning, 4-1 LaRoche lead as Trey Thomas adjusts the cleats and the stirrup socks and gets back to work. The first pitch, high and inside for ball 1.
You know, a lot of the LaRoche players who have the high socks today have these stirrups with these stripes, but Thomas going with the more traditional solid stirrups.
Overall, a very old school look. The red jerseys with the rings around the sleeves, kind of reminiscent of the Pirates. I can dig it. I'm a fan of these uniforms.
A lot of teams sporting red in this regional. Saw in the last game, Wabash College, the red uniforms. Shenandoah has red in their uniforms, and I think that Otterbein, who faces Adrian in the game after this, also has red in their uniform.
A lot of red, a lot of black and gold, and a lot of blue and gray as Ithaca is sporting right now. Very classic look. And there's a couple of thoughts on why their nickname might be the Bombers as Wallner draws the leadoff walk that we'll discuss later, but one of them relates to a famous MLB club. Cody wants to know right now. So there's been a couple of nicknames.
Well, you can't tease me like that and not tell me.
The Ithaca college history, they eventually settled on the Bombers. And there's a couple of thoughts on why it could be the Bombers. Now, one of their original names, they were the Cayugas. They were also known as the Blue Team, Blues, Blue and Gold Collegians, and the Seneca Streeters, but they eventually, as I said, went to the Bombers. And one thought of that, the most popular thought, is that the IC logo on their uniforms and on their hats is very similar to the way the New York Yankees have their logos, and of course they're known as the Bronx Bombers. So they're, let's say, a folklore or a legend. It's not confirmed, but a lot of people believe they are the Bombers because of the New York Yankees.
Do you think we should ask Coach Valicente in his presser if that is myth or if that is fact?
I don't know if we should ask that in the presser, but maybe if we see him in passing afterwards. There's a blocked ball in front of the plate. Dominic Barista knocked down by the catcher, Roebuck. That's a good sport about it. Nice blocked ball, by the way.
Yeah, just at his feet. I mean, really nothing he can do. The batter's box is yours. If he was to try to move out, he might have been called for interference. So really the right play there by Baresta.
It's 1-2 on him now. Pitch from Thomas. Hits that one into the glove of a diving Melendez. On to second for one. Relay not going to be in time as Thomas stretches out. That's a fielder's choice, and there's one out now.
Well, speaking of Coach Valicente, he is a 1966 Ithaca College graduate, and this is his 40th season at the helm of their baseball program. He owns an overall record of 1,103 victories, 497 losses, and 8 ties overall. Or, excuse me, that's at Ithaca College. Overall in his coaching career, he has 1,163 victories, 536 losses, and again 8 ties. And that's 45 years of coaching experience.
You want to look at how a lot of these teams got into the regionals. Just look at their head coaches, especially this Mideast regional. I mean, that's the one we know best because we're announcing it, but legendary coaches all coaching in this. Coach Valicente, no exception.
He's currently 7th all-time in Division III in wins, and they own the current NCAA Division III record for most consecutive winning seasons. Can you guess how many consecutive winning seasons the Bombers baseball program has?
I'm going to say 15 because that sounds like a good number.
You are quite off on that one, Robbie. I'm going to ask you to go a lot higher.
Foul ball as Baresta off for second base. He'll have to retreat. 1-2 now on Jake Generali. I'm going to double that answer, then I'm going to say 30 seasons.
You are still way under.
This is for winning seasons in a row.
Consecutive winning seasons.
35. You said way under, so I'll go with 40.
I'll give you a hint. This streak was occurring before Coach Valicente took the helm, so it's more than 40.
He rings him up window shopping right there. Out number 2 now here in the top of the 5th inning. I'll go with 50. It's my final answer because I don't think we should leave the viewers on their seat.
The Ithaca Bombers baseball program currently owns a 76-year streak of winning seasons. They have 76 consecutive winning seasons.
A lot of these facts from these teams you're giving me, all I can do is shake my head because I just can't believe how good these are. Strong throw down to second base by Roebuck, but Baresta will be in time on the wild pitch. Up to bat now for the Bombers is the second baseman, Webb Little. 0 for 1 so far, a strikeout. RBI sacrifice fly his last time up. Man in scoring position with 2 outs here. Pitch from Thomas in the turf, blocked by Roebuck. It's now 2-0.
Well, Ithaca, as we mentioned, received an automatic bid to this regional tournament by capturing the Empire 8 Conference Tournament title. And Robbie, they actually started the season with a 9-9 record, and the team was only batting .247. Since then, the team has gone 19-6 and is hitting .348.
Webb grounds that one over to second base. And Qualiero will make the throw on the first for out number 3. Well, sometimes it just takes one game to turn the tide of the season. And we'll see if the Bombers can turn the tide on defense. They still trail by 3 runs. They'll look to keep the Red Hawks at that deficit. As I guess it wouldn't be their deficit. They look to keep the deficit at the same.
They don't want to give up any more runs.
That's why we're twins, and that's why he's my colleague. I'll see if I can find words coming into the next inning. Keep it tuned right here to ACTV. You heard PA announcer Dave Van Giesen say it right there. Number 32, Shane Roebuck up to bat for the Red Hawks. As they hold on to a 4-run lead. Pitch from Binder. Down low, 2-0. Another one inside, and Roebuck now ahead in the count. 3 balls and no strikes. That one falls just below the knees. 4 pitches, 4 balls, and Roebuck aboard with the leadoff walk. I'll bring up the shortstop, Austin Hoffman. 0 for 2 so far. A fly out and a fielder's choice, but he would later come around to score. That fourth run, that's where the score stands now. 4-1 LaRoche lead. He shows bunt, pulls back, and strike one. Now the 0-1. That one fouled on the left side of the field. 0-2 now on Hoffman.
You know, I've got to say, every time they foul off a ball on the left side of the field and you see all the trees in bloom, it really makes my heart happy, especially doing the Adrian games back in March, when with the spring we had, we thought we'd never see anything over 40 degrees.
Oh yeah, and that breeze in the press box was anything but pleasant. Tries to go off speed but can't snap it off, and it's 1-2 now. Pitch from Binder. Outside, 2 balls in, 2 strikes. Hoffman featuring one of those face guards that a lot of MLB players have been wearing recently. That one hit down the left field line, fair and into the corner. Roebuck hits the bag at second. He's headed to third, and he will be safe under the tag. Nice throw by Baresta. A great base running by Shane Roebuck, and there are now runners on second and third with still nobody out.
Well, LaRoche hitters continuing to get on top of these pitches by Binder that are up and away. That one right down the line. And it looked like the throw by Baresta was going to nab Roebuck, but must have gotten his hand in there in time.
So the Red Hawks now have 2 in scoring position, and it's Jay Novak up to bat. Take off speed for strike one as it hits the outside black. Oh, 1 pitch. Low and outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. That one fouled back into the parking lot. 1-2. Lands safely on the pavement out there. Still no broken windshields this year. Time is called and Binder will reset.
I'm afraid you might have jinxed us, Robbie. I mean, we're parked at what seems like a safe distance, but after seeing that light get shattered in the first game, I'm not sure what is a safe distance.
Foul ball into the netting, and you can mark me up on the flinch game.
Let me just get my binder out.
Well, speaking of Binder, he's up in the count right now, 1-2. Pitch to Novak. He hits a ground ball into the sliding glove of Webb Little. A run will score out at first. It's a now 5-1 ball game. And Hoffman will move over to third base.
And like you said, Robbie, a nice sliding stop in the hole by Little. Thought about going home, but made the smart play of getting the out at first.
1 out now, potential 6th run for LaRoche, 90 feet away, and it's Jonathan Melendez up to bat. He sends a towering pop-up on the right side of the infield. First baseman Bailey under it for out number 2. So now it's the center fielder Dylan Urban looking for a 2-out RBI. 0 for 2 so far. A fly out, reached on an error by the first baseman. Has also stolen a base and scored a run today. One-0 pitch from Binder. It's a ground ball over to third base. Raleigh with a long throw and a nice little scoop over at first base by Bailey to end the inning. LaRoche scores one more run. They now lead 5-1 as we head to the top of the 6th inning. We'll be right back with more NCAA baseball. Don't you touch that clicker. And if you do, don't change the channel because we'll be back on ACTV. Four, 5, 6 due up for the Bombers here in the top of inning number 6. 5-1 LaRoche lead. The first pitch fastball high to Andrew Bailey, 1-0. Bailey 0 for 2 so far today, a strikeout and a flyout. That one hits the letters. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. He swings through that curveball. 1-2 now. Well, Thomas continues to be effectively wild. He's held them to 1 run. That was back in the 3rd inning. Has blanked them other than that. It's a fly ball sent into center field. Diving attempt by Urban, but it's going to fall in front of him. Bailey aboard with the leadoff single. We've seen some great attempts by those outfielders today.
Yeah, it's the second time that we've seen, I believe, Novak come in and what looked like it was going to be an out, just unable to haul it in. That one, he was just a little too late on the jump and missed it by about 6 inches. Of course, that number is probably a little arbitrary. We're quite far from where he is out there in center, but nonetheless, a great try.
That was the 3rd hit of the day for Ithaca. It's the right fielder Sam Little up to bat. He has 2 of those hits, 2 for 2 so far. Pitch from Thomas, high and outside for ball 1. That one falls below the strike zone, 2-0. He's out beyond right field. Some Adrian College Bulldogs starting to congregate for their 7:45 game against Otterbein. The 2-0. High and outside. 3 balls and no strikes on Sam Little. Pitch from Thomas. At the belt, 3 balls, 1 strike.
Thomas has gotten to a lot of 3-ball counts today, but it seems like he fights back to at least 2 strikes most every time. He's not getting them to put it in play on a 1-strike count.
We'll see if he can do it again here. The 3-1 is a fly ball into center field. Urban was shaded over to the right, but a nice running catch out there for out number 1. Bailey will hold at first base, and that will bring up designated hitter Adam Gallagher. 0 for 2 so far, strikeout in a double play. That first pitch, headhunting. Gallagher has to bend out of the way for ball 1. Fastball high, 2-0. For as many close calls as Thomas has had, he's only hit 1 batter so far. That was Jake Generali back in the 3rd inning. Two-0 pitch. Big cut there, and it's quickly 2-1. Pitch from Thomas. Big cut there again, and the count's even at 2. The 2-2. And he gets some window shopping there for strike 3, and they're now 2 down. Sixth strikeout of the day for Trey Thomas. And with 2 outs, that will bring up Bombers center fielder Matt Carey. Still a man on first base for Ithaca. First pitch into the number 2 of Carey. Second hits batter of the day for Thomas. Ithaca now with runners on first and second with 2 outs.
Thomas's pitch count now at 91. We've seen a lot of high pitch counts today in game 1. The Shenandoah starter threw around 130 pitches. When we went to that press conference, when a question was posed to Shenandoah head coach, that was Coach Anderson, asking about what his thought process was going into the 9th inning when his starter had around 110 pitches. And he said that his net magic number in terms of a pitch count is 126 for a 9-inning game, because that means his starter is averaging right around 14 pitches an inning.
Odd way of thinking about it, but seems to do the trick as Shenandoah got the win today. High fly ball into left field. Spina under it for out number 3. Like you said, Coach Anderson, 126 is his magic number. Now, usually you see 100, 110, 120, but not 126.
It's an oddly specific number.
Seems to be working for him as he's in the winner's bracket right now. Bombers can't score right there. Still a 5-1 LaRoche lead as we head to the bottom of inning number 6, and we'll be right back with more NCAA Regional Baseball on ACTV. First pitch fastball from Jake Binder to Elmo Trickett. It's in there for strike one. Welcome back to ACTV. Bottom of the 6th inning, 5-1 Redhawks lead. That one's over to the second baseman, Webb Little. Throw on to first. Nice stretch by Bailey for out one. Head back to the top of the LaRoche lineup. Leadoff man Jonathan Spina. 1 for 3 so far with a double, a run scored. Also has grounded out and flown out to center field. That was his last time up. Which is a ball low and outside. That one's going to find its way out of play on the right side. 1 ball and 1 strike on Spina. That one into left field. Baresta towards the wall and will haul it in for out number 2. So now it's the designated hitter, Joe Professori. 1 for 3, 2 ground outs, singled his last time up. And a first pitch curveball in there for strike 1. Big swing and a miss right there. 0-2. Binder and the Bombers looking for their first 1-2-3 inning. That one fouled off the brick and just like a bowling alley, right back to Binder on the mound. The 0-2 pitch. That one hit into right field, and that's going to get down the line and into the corner. Professori hits first. He's headed to second base, and he will stop there. 2-out double for Joe Professori.
You see Binder continuing to go to the outside part of the plate. Spina took a curveball. He flew out to left field. That time, Professori just goes with the pitch and laces it right down the right field line. And a nice piece of hitting there by the Redhawks 2-hitter.
Still 2 down, man in scoring position. A first pitch ball to the second baseman, Gino Qualiero. 0 for 3 so far. Reached on an error, has a strikeout, and lined into a double play his last time. Binder watches second, but will hold on to his throw. One 0 pitch. Able to hold up on that curveball. It's 2 balls in, no strikes. The 2-0. Outside, 3 balls in, no strikes. The Qualiero. Offering from Binder. 3 balls, 1 strike. He swings through that curveball there. Jake Binder battles back. Full count now, 3-2 with 2 outs. Joe Professori on second base after that 2-out double. The payoff pitch. It's that one to the shortstop. Nice play by Lynch. Can he finish it off? And he can. Bailey drifts into the baseline as Qualiero tripped and hit the deck. He seems to be okay, but another great defensive play by Ithaca. To the top of inning number 7, still a 5-1 LaRoche lead. And we'll see how this game continues to unfold. Keep it tuned right here to ACTV. You heard PA announcer David Van Giesen right there. Catcher Andrew Wallner up to bat as Trey Thomas gets ready for his 7th inning of work. The first pitch to Wallner is a fastball high, 1-0. No one hit, foul on the right side, 1 ball and 1 strike. Now earlier we talked about how one of the stadium lights shattered on a foul ball in that game between Shenandoah and Marietta. The cherry picker has just arrived with athletic director Mike Duffy leading the way. So it looks like that may be changed before the lights have to go into usage.
Well, lucky for them, the sun has been staying up longer. Got about roughly 2.5 hours until we really need the lights.
Wallner fishes for that one, but can't catch anything. Roebuck will finish it off over at first base for out number 1. 7th strikeout of the day for Trey Thomas, and we'll head back to the top of the Ithaca lineup. It's left fielder Dominic Baresta. 0 for 1 so far. 2 walks, reached on a fielder's choice his last time up before being stranded at second. First pitch, low and outside, ball 1.
Thomas features a really nice curveball. He's been leaving it up a lot, but with 2 strikes, he has shown when he locates it that it's the perfect break, just right down into the dirt. Nothing really that the Ithaca hitters can do.
And a bunt right back to the mound, but Thomas can't handle it. Tried to bare handle it, but a little bit of a bobble. Baresta safe at first with 1 out.
Yeah, maybe not the right way to go after that bunt. Hit hard enough to where he probably could have gloved it. Instead, he opted for the bare hand, couldn't grab it cleanly.
They will score that a hit. Make it number 4 on the day for the Bombers. First pitch fastball, a strike to the third baseman, Jake Generali. It's 0 for 2 so far. Popped out to the shortstop, hit by a pitch. Struck out looking his last time up. Pickoff throw to first, safe. It's Baresta. Time is called. Thomas will throw it in anyways and signals his own strike. Good to see the players having fun out there.
It's really the only way you should be playing this game, is nice and loose, having fun. As soon as you tighten up out there, that's when mistakes start to happen.
1-1 on Jake Generali. Now watch that one in the turf. Nice pick by Roebuck, and it's 2-1. Another fastball high. 3 balls and 1 strike on Generali. Action brewing in the Red Hawks bullpen. 2 pitchers up right now.
Trey Thomas entered this inning with 92 pitches.
We'll find the inner half of the plate right there. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Payoff pitch from Thomas. High for ball 4. And now runners on first and second, only 1 out. So Webb Little up to bat now, as Thomas will have to face the heart of the order if he wants to escape this with the lead. LaRoche, 3 runs to play with right now. First pitch to Webb. A ground ball over to first base. He'll flip on to Thomas, who covers for out number 2. Runners will move up. We'll put 2 in scoring position with 2 outs.
The first baseman, Melendez, playing fairly deep. Usually on double play depth, you want the corners playing in. He was playing what you would normally play with nobody on base.
So up now is the first baseman, Andrew Bailey. 2 men in scoring position for him. So try to carve into that Red Hawks lead. First pitch, a ball high. Like we said, they have 3 runs to play with right now, so they might have just been playing safe rather than sorry. Quick mound visit called by Roebuck.
And really, this is really the biggest jam that Thomas has faced, runners on second and third, but he still has 2 outs. And for the control issues that he's shown today, he has, for the most part, held Ithaca in check. Only 4 hits allowed, a few walks, a couple hit by pitches, but really not too many stressful situations for him.
See if he can buckle down here. 1-0, but instead of buckling down, they'll signal to the bullpen. Coach Chase Rowe ends Trey Thomas's day. He has 2 on. Leaves with a 5-1 lead. We'll let this mystery man warm up, see who he is, where he's from, and what he's about. We'll be right back with more NCAA regional action here on ACTV. Jake Seymour now in for Trey Thomas. He inherits 2 runners on second and third with 2 outs. LaRoche hangs on to a 5-1 lead. First pitch, curveball, misses low. It's 2-0 now on the batter, Andrew Bailey. Baresta on third base, Generali on second. Another curveball, this one misses inside, 3-0.
Well, Seymour has been stellar out of the pen so far. 19 appearances, 38 innings pitched. He has a 2.37 ERA and 30 strikeouts to only 11 walks.
The 3-0 pitch. Strike at the knees, 3-1. This one misses low, ball 4. The Bombers now have the bases loaded with 2 outs. I'll bring up the number 5 hitter, Sam Little, 2 for 3 so far today with 2 singles. Ithaca has threatened a couple times today so far, has not really been able to capitalize. They'll see if they can do it here as they are running out of outs in this ballgame.
And because Thomas started that batter with the 1-0 count, that walk will be charged to him. So he finishes with 5 walks on the day, 7 strikeouts, 105 total pitches, and he'll see if his teammate Seymour can get him out of this jam.
First pitch, a chopper down the first base line. Seymour has it, will take it himself. And Ithaca leaves the bases loaded as Seymour escapes the jam. And the Redhawks hold on to a 5-1 lead heading into the bottom of the 7th inning. 7th inning stretch time. We'll do it in the booth. We hope you guys do it at home. Maybe refresh the beverages. Throw a couple hot dogs on the grill. It is dinner time after all. Maybe call that pizza man. If he gets it there in 3 minutes or less, you won't miss any of the action. And we'll be right back on ACTV. Welcome back to game number 3 of the NCAA Mideast Regional. 5-1 LaRoche lead. And the 4-hitter Shane Roebuck leading things off. Hope the pizza made it to your house in time. You refresh the beverages, maybe stretch the hammies out. It's off speed, misses just below the knees. 2 balls and no strikes.
Roebuck has reached base every single at-bat today. 2 walks and a hit by pitch back in the first inning. Came around to score after he was walked in his last at-bat. That was in the 5th.
He's close to getting on base again. The 3-0 pitch from Binder. That's in the zone, 3-1. There's a hard hit ball. 1 hopper to the shortstop, Lynch. And he'll finish it off. Nice dig at first by Bailey for out number 1. So up now is the shortstop, Austin Hoffman. 1 for 3 today. Scored a run, doubled his last time up. The first pitch from Binder. He shows bunt. That's down the third base line. Generali. Nice charging play, but the throw a little offline. Bailey unable to handle the pick. There's a man on with 1 out.
We'll see how they rule that. A hard bunt up the third base line. And although Generali at third was playing back, it did look like he was about to nab him at first, but they'll rule it a hit.
Number 8 on the day for LaRoche. And up now is the right fielder, Jay Novak, 1 for 3. Single, a run scored. His last at bat, an RBI ground out. Another pickoff move to first. Roebuck back in time.
Binder now over 100 pitches, so we'll see how Coach Valicente wants to handle his pen going into these later innings.
Hoffman continuing to draw throws over to first base. Moderate lead. First pitch from Binder. That one right to the first baseman. Bailey has trouble handling the pick. So he looked to second a little too quickly. They'll get the out at first, but Hoffman will head to second. 2 outs now in the inning. They'll bring up the first baseman, Jonathan Melendez. 1 for 3 with an RBI single. He has a man in scoring position with 2 outs. First pitch from Binder in the turf, blocked there by Wallner. It's 1-0. High chopper back up the middle. Lynch has it. Nice running throw to complete it. The Red Hawks leave a man on base, but carry that 5-1 lead into the top of the 8th inning. Do you think the Bombers can start making a comeback? We'll find out next here on ACTV. Outs are becoming a premium here in game number 3, top of the 8th inning. Bombers trail 5-1. And now pinch hitting for Adam Gallagher. It's number 24, Garrett Callahan. First pitch curveball in there for a strike as Jake Seymour starts his first full inning of work. The curveball, not able to snap that one off. It's 1 ball and 1 strike.
Callahan 12 hits in 37 at-bats on the year. He has driven in 5 runs and scored 9, 3 doubles.
That pitch ends up at the backstop. 2-1 now on Callahan. The 2-1. Line drive into left field, and that's going to fall for a leadoff single. Callahan does his job coming off the bench. So I'll bring up the center fielder, Matt Carey. And Ithaca trying to just tack on some runs 1 by 1. Carey trying to follow suit with Callahan. He goes fishing on that curveball. 0-1. Carey wishes he could have that one back. Trickett playing a few steps behind the bag. The 0-1 swings again on the off speed in a hole. 0-2.
Well, Ithaca College located in New York. LaRoche, of course, located in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Can you guess which one is a further bus ride to Nicolay Field?
I'm going to say Ithaca. I feel like Pittsburgh is fairly close.
You would be right. From Ithaca College to Adrian College, according to Google, is 7 hours and 41 minutes. And that is compared to the LaRoche bus ride, which is 4 hours and 14 minutes.
Neither pleasant, but LaRoche is bearable. I'm going to say props to the Ithaca players, because I don't know if I could sit on a bus for 7.5 hours. I've done 2 24-hour bus rides, but when you're going to the happiest place on earth, that is Disney World, you can kind of survive that trip. Carey fouls that one off right on the shin. And when I say shin, I mean to be polite. It hit an area that is not very fun to be hit. And Carey is definitely in some pain right now. As we talked about Nicolay Field being the bounce house. That ball bounced right into an unpleasant area.
Yeah, they're going to give him some time here to walk that one off.
And you give him a drink. And Carey just having an unfortunate at-bat. Swung at 2 pitches in the turf, was not very happy about it. Is starting to battle back, and now something like this happens. You got to feel for the guy.
I think now would be a good time to talk about Ithaca's NCAA tournament history. They have made 47 appearances. Their all-time NCAA tournament record is 124-93. They have captured 2 Division III NCAA titles, one in 1980 and one in 1988. So one of the more historically decorated programs in Division III baseball history.
It would be interesting to see, and this is just hypothetical, if Ithaca and Marietta, another very decorated, if not the most decorated team in Division III history, met in the final of this regional, as Carey grounds out to the shortstop for out number 1. But he'll move Callahan up to second base, so not all is lost, and considering what happened that at-bat, I'd chalk up a win in his book.
Luckily his dugout's on the first base side, so not too far of a walk.
So now up is the shortstop, Jack Lynch. He has a man in scoring position with only one out. The first pitch, fly ball down the line. So that one had the distance, but it's going to be foul all the way to the Frank and Shirley Dick hitting facility beyond right field.
Well, we haven't seen one put out yet today, but all 8 of these teams definitely have players that are capable of changing a game with one swing.
I think Seymour got away with a pitch right there. Pickoff move to second, but that's going to go into center field. Callahan moves up to third. Chalk up an error for LaRoche, first of the ball game, and Ithaca's potential second run 90 feet away. Failed pickoff attempt by Jake Seymour.
It's a good idea. Unfortunately, that one just squirts right into center field. And Urban, playing deep, wasn't able to back it up in time.
The 0-1 to Lynch. He swings at that one in the turf, blocked by Roebuck. It's 0-2 now.
Roebuck doing a great job behind the dish today, blocking a lot of breaking balls in the dirt. And seemingly every one he's blocked is with runners on third or second, situations where you definitely need to keep the ball in front of you.
The 0-2. Tapper down the first base side, but foul. Count remains the same.
And you can tell that the pitcher Seymour has a lot of confidence with throwing that breaking ball down in the zone with the runner on third, as he does again right there, because he knows that his backstop is going to keep it in front.
Where Thomas's bread and butter is with the fastball, Seymour living and dying on the curveball. The 0-2, another curveball in the turf. Scooped up by Roebuck, who will make the tag for out number 2.
Another great breaking ball there. Starts it off at the knees, and that pitch just breaks down and into the dirt, or in this case, the turf. So if we see Seymour continue to go to that pitch, Ithaca might want to move up in the box, try to catch it before it starts its break down into the turf.
So up now is the catcher Andrew Wallner. Swings at that curveball, manages to get a piece of it, but it's still strike one. Callahan over at third base. That one hit into center field. Urban a few steps back. It'll settle into his glove for out number 3. So Ithaca gets a man on third, but can't bring him in. We'll head to the bottom of the 8th inning. Still a 5-1 LaRoche lead. We'll see if they can tack on some insurance runs. And we'll be right back with more NCAA baseball on ACTV. Ithaca heads to the bullpen. It's number 15, Tyler Hill, now on the bump. So they try to keep the deficit within 4. 8-9-1 due up for the Red Hawks. A first pitch strike for the center fielder, Dylan Urban.
Well, Hill has made 9 starts on the year for Ithaca. 11 total appearances. He has a 4.34 ERA in 45 2/3 innings of work. He's also struck out 41 batters and walked 27.
1-1 pitch, big swing and a miss there. Urban in a hole, 1-2. And the pitch from Hill. Big cut there. Goes after the high cheddar, but the trap snaps shut. There's 1 down now on the Red Hawks. So that will bring up the third baseman, Elmo Trickett. 1 for 3 so far, a single. Also reached on an error, grounded out to second base his last time up. The first pitch from Hill, off speed in there for strike 1. Trickett able to hold off on that one. 1 ball and 1 strike. Oh, and fooled badly on that curveball. 1-2 now on Trickett. The 1-2. Fooled again on the curveball. Goes fishing, but nothing in the pond. A little bit of an errant throw by Wallner as he had to go outside the baseline, but they'll still get him for out number 2. Much like LaRoche pitcher Seymour, Hill relying on that curveball here in the 8th inning.
Well, showing off both pitches, really. So he struck out Melendez on the fastball in on his hands. That time goes down and away with the curveball.
Goes back to the fastball right there for strike 1 on the leadoff man, Jonathan Spina. Another curveball, another strike. Spina has got himself into a predicament now. 0-2 with 2 outs. The pitch from Hill. Fastball high, 1-2. Time is called.
Head coach Chase Rowe wants to have a word with his batter.
And while he's at it, catcher Wallner will go out to have a discussion with Tyler Hill. Eight hits, 5 runs for LaRoche. Also aided by 4 Ithaca errors. The 1-2. And he goes fishing right there, but nothing in the pond.
King of the hill there in the bottom of the 8th.
Strikes out the side, and he dusts him off with that fastball. We'll head to the top of the 9th inning. Time to pay the piper if you're the Ithaca Bombers as they trail by 4. And we'll see if they can make a comeback here on ACTV. Don't you touch that clicker. Last call for Ithaca. They trail 5-1 here in the top of the 9th inning, in the LaRoche Redhawks turning to their big closer, number 22, Shane Emrich.
Well, 21 in a third innings pitched. He has a minuscule 0.84 ERA, 19 total appearances on the year, a 3-0 record, 7 saves, and he struck out 35 batters, only issued 9 base on balls.
Have to face the top of the Ithaca lineup. As a curveball misses right there. 1-1 on the leadoff man, Dominic Baresta. 2 walks to his name so far today. Also has reached on a fielder's choice, singled his last time up. The 1-1. Another curveball, another ball. 2-1. Pitch from Emrich. He hits a high pop-up, chases the high cheddar. It's going to be the shortstop Hoffman to call everybody off and make the first out. So up now is the third baseman, Jake Generali. A hit by pitch, a walk his last time up, has also struck out looking and popped out to the shortstop. Search of his first hit of the day. And a first pitch fastball pounds the mitt. No balls and 1 strike. Fouls that one back towards the press conference tent. Generali quickly in a hole now, 0-2. The pitch from Emrich. Ground ball foul down the third base side. LaRoche trying to close off this game and head to the winner's bracket. Ithaca trying to make a comeback and avoid the elimination bracket. The 0-2 just misses with that fastball. Can't hit the outer black, and it's 1-2. Second baseman Webb Little on deck for the Ithaca Bombers. The 1-2. And tries to saw him off right there, but Generali manages to get a piece of it. Still 1-2. The 1-2. Ground ball over to third base. Trickett will play it on a hop. A long throw. Melendez can't handle it on the bang bang. Generali will be safe at first. Second error of the day for the Redhawks.
Well, Trickett decided to play that ball back and wait for the good hop, but then he looked up, saw Generali going fast down the line, a little bit of a rush on his throw, so stood straight up rather than finishing. And the first baseman, Melendez, just not quite tall enough to haul that one in.
Like we said, a bang-bang play, and the official scores up in the press box have just changed it from an error to a hit. So still only 1 for the Redhawks, and that was hit number 6 for the Bombers. Webb Little up to bat now with a runner on first and only 1 out. 0-1 pitch. Outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. One from Emrich. Tries to check his swing, instead sends a foul ball towards the Redhawks dugouts. 1-2. Offering the little, just below the knees. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Wind again has changed direction, now blowing from right to center, it looks like.
Still just a soft breeze, though. 2-2. High chopper back up the middle. Hoffman charging. Will make the play at first for out number 2. Generali will move up to second, but the Bombers down to their final out. And it'll be the first baseman, Andrew Bailey. A last chance for the Bombers. First pitch from Emrich. Bender in there at the knees, 0-1. Oh, 1 pitch. High pop-up, shallow center field. This should do it as Corliero will haul it in for out number 3. And the LaRoche Redhawks are headed to the winner's bracket. They win the opening game by a score of 5-1 over the Ithaca Bombers. And Cody, break down this game for us.
Well, despite the control issues, which we haven't had the pleasure of seeing him all year, that might be how he always is, as we saw 30 walks coming into today. But Trey Thomas doing a masterful job. He put runners on base via the free pass 5 times, hit a couple batters as well, but really was never in too many stressful situations, seemed to always navigate out of them. He had 7 strikeouts, including 3 looking. And LaRoche just getting the timely hitting that they needed, really used the entire field. We saw a few doubles the other way. And although the errors did not really come back to bite them, they lost by 4 runs. The errors really accounted for 2 runs, but kind of took the wind out of Ithaca's sails. So they'll head to the loser's bracket, but they will not go easily. In their 46 regional appearances, they have only gone 2 and out 3 times.
So whoever plays them tomorrow will have stiff competition, as we saw great baseball by both sides. LaRoche takes it by a score of 5-1. They will play in game number 8 against the winner of the Otterbein-Adrian game. That's coming up at 7:45. They'll play that game tomorrow at 7:45. Meanwhile, Ithaca will face the loser of the upcoming game in game number 6. That will take place at 1:15 tomorrow. But as I said, up next on ACTV, it's the final game of day number 1 and the final game of the opening round between the number 2 seed Otterbein and the number 7 seed Adrian College Bulldogs. That coming up at 7:45. Once again, thank you for joining us here for NCAA Mideast Regional Tournament action. LaRoche takes game number 3 over Ithaca. This has been Robbie Alexander with my colleague Cody Alexander. Until next time, keep it tuned right here to ACTV until about 45 minutes from now. We'll see you then right here on ACTV.